I'm just going around the corner here to a joinery shop. So all of that musical marine plywood, what was all that about? Just a couple of little tiny trims. Now the part that I've been waiting for to stand on it. This is a nice addition, I can say. So what I'm up to now, I'm just going around the corner here to a joinery shop. They are going to be chopping up some rosewood for me. That's going to be used for the Cabinsoles. It'll come up really nice. I've got some good plans for something that'll, I think, look very nice. Let's go, just around the corner. Just going to get a bit of a video if that's all right.
Yeah, I don't mind. The smallest one's 52.
Yep.
So
we should have enough room to get
what do we go?
4. The other thing is it's all got to be uniform because it's all going to run into each other.
So I might have to go 11.
Do you mind if you're on camera?
No, I don't mind.
Good on you.
There is a life I lead in this city, hurrying to cut my teeth. I can take what I need to get by. It doesn't make it easy. The other piece of my heart moves slow, somewhere in the great unknown. When I return from the afterglow, will you carry me like I am whole again? Wait, hold on, put me together, take me back where I belong. I want it all. I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone. Wait, hold on, put me together, take me back where I belong. I want it all. I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone. If I could take you back to my youth and show you what I wish I knew. My will is strong with a place to lean. In the moment I hung desperately. The other ring on my wrist is gold, pairing with the light it holds.
So here's that lovely rosewood cut up for the flooring. A bit hard to see in this light at the moment. However, just get closer. It's only part of the flooring, of course, but that length there, the two lots run into each other, is 5.5 metres. So that will go from as soon as you come down the companionway into the entry, all the way through to the V-berth. All in 2 bits that blend in, so it should look good. Okie doke, so I'm ready to bolt these angles on, which is always a nice thing, more progress. As mentioned previously, I'll be using the Loctite, and this is the 243 number, and I'll put a drop on the threads, pass them through, put the nuts up from bottom. Pretty straightforward and simple stuff, really. That's one in. Now for number 2.
When I return from my skin and bones, I'm remembering the words you told me. Wait, hold on, put me together, take me back where I belong.
Well, that is in, and that, my goodness, is so strong. It probably seems like I'm surprised, and there's an element of that, but what it is more so is I'm just so pleased and satisfied when things work out exactly as I planned. And so just to sort of point out, this goes right back to when I welded these cleats into the boat. You know, that cleat there's two of them welded to the whole floor. These little cleats here welded onto the bottom of this stiffener, and a bit hard to see, but these little cleats welded onto the hull there. So that was my plan all along, put these floor angle supports in to support the Cabinsole. And it's just, yeah, it's just great. I love it. It's nice and strong, and it's going to absolutely do the job in a bulletproof kind of way. And now I will actually go ahead and make this marine ply part of the Cabinsole and put it in. It'll be easy. It'll be split down the centre line, so in two pieces. There's a couple of reasons for that. One is I want to be able to remove all of the Cabinsole to be able to have access to the hull floor here. And as part of that, you know, in the event that any water or any liquid really spills in this area or ships aboard, it can go through between this Cabinsole join here into the bilge and run down to the bilge low point where it can be pumped out.
I want it all. I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone. Wait, hold on. Put me together, take me back where I belong. I want it all. I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone.
So that's pretty much bang on where that's dropped, actually. Almost, I say. I still need to do some fine tuning to this bit. And this is the second bit of template, as you can see. So just a little bit of fine tuning here, not much at all. Now, as you can see here, I've got this black material. This is rubber, and this has actually got some reinforcing in it. So what I'm going to be doing with this is, I don't want the Cabinsole to be resting on top of the steel itself. There can be a tendency for that to be a little bit noisy sometimes, so to try and reduce that noise walking through on the Cabinsole through the boat because it's on steel, what I'm going to do is put a rubber support gasket, if you like, on top of all of the steel, and that'll be the case right through the boat where the Cabinsole is. I have two thicknesses here, and so for example, this hull floor and that angle in the middle of this section are level, but the one forward of that is not, and the reason is because, as you might recall, I've got that mounted underneath those cleats, and so it's made it just a bit low, well, the thickness of the cleat, which is 4mm below these two. So I'll just fill that in with some of this 3mm rubber to get it even so that this is all level. Another thing to just comment about, there's so many enjoyable things along the way now. Everything I do gives a visual change, including just laying this template down on top of this cabin floor here. So what it's done is it's just changed that visual look of the height between the hull floor and up, and of course whenever I stepped in here I just got used to a certain height above my head in this area, so just putting this bit of template down has noticeably changed the look of it for me.
Spring is in the air like a drum snare, buds are bursting, beautiful green. It's like a love scene with waves of flirting. Seasons change us. Maybe it's just me and mine, where thunder has had its way, when kind
So all of that musical marine plywood, what was all that about? What I was doing is just reordering all of this pack to the best of my ability, which I'm sure will change over time. However, I'm just organising the ply because there are different thicknesses and also qualities. So I'm just organising it in hopefully such a way that I can pull off the next piece that I need for what I'm doing in some sort of order. So what I've done now is these ones here on my left, your right hand side, that's ordered for the V-berth. It'll be the lining, the Cabinsole, and then the next ones here will actually be the lining in 12mm. So I have the A-grade marine ply in 9mm for the lining where you'll see it in the V-berth. I have the 12mm BC grade, which is a bit rough as you can see, but it's all going to be epoxied and never seen, and it is structural ply, so it should do the job it's certified for. And then I'll be moving on to the 12mm BC grade, and again that should be well up to the job that it's got for it, and again it won't be seen. A lot of this plywood in 12mm that'll be the backs of cupboards, which will be the lining in some parts, despite being BC grade, I'm going to have it all painted white after it's epoxy treated and coated. So yeah, again, it'll just be white, you won't really see it, and you'll have to poke your head in a cupboard if you really want to be that keen. Hopefully I've done a reasonable job, even half good job, so that I don't have to go through playing musical plywood all over again. Just another little thing to mention, these feet here underneath the plywood on these stands, I haven't been able to see them, and I had these extension feet to support the ply when it was right out here. That is no longer the case, so they're not going to be needed anymore, which is rather nice. The Cabinsole up in that V-berth is the first piece that I'm going to do. It'll be so nice to have a flat surface with which to go ahead and build the cabinetry in that V-berth. Really looking forward to that. So as you can see, this doesn't look like the other marine ply that I've been using. It is marine ply. I said earlier that it is BC grade. That was a mistake. It's actually CD grade. So what you're looking at here is the D grade face, and underneath is the C grade. They look distinctly different, and the reason that I've got the D grade facing up is because, as you saw earlier, I've got some lovely rosewood stripped down, and that's going to be the top dressed laminated surface on top of all of the Cabinsole. This is 12mm. The rosewood stripping is 9mm, that's 21mm plus 1-ish mil of epoxy. So round figures, there's going to be about 22mm of Cabinsole flooring with which to walk about the boat. This will be more than strong enough to do that job. And as I say, this is the D face. It's not so pretty, but it will be coated and protected with epoxy, and then the rosewood laminate on top. You'll never see this, and underneath it's just a nicer surface, which I think will be nicer to have laying down. Whenever you pull the Cabinsole up, you'll see a better surface than looking at this. And the other thing to say is the reason that I opted for the CD grade with some of the marine ply is because it's a heck of a lot cheaper.
Oh, no need to beg pardon. No need.
So there's that Cabinsole. Contrast that with that surface, and this is definitely better. So let's go inside Mistress and see if it fits, eh?
Wind chimes swaying, I'm longing for summer nights.
Just a couple of little tiny trims, really nothing much at all. Otherwise, that's looking pretty good. And now the part that I've been waiting for to stand on it. Yeah, that's nice.
Maybe it's just me and my.
This is a nice addition, I can say. One more thing to mention about this, because I will want this Cabinsole to be able to be lifted up and removed. So it's going to end up with a cut down the middle. What I thought I'd do is leave it in one piece, even when I laminate that rosewood on top, because I don't need it in two pieces now, and it'll just make things easier, I think, having it in one piece. But I can say that it's so nice to have a flat floor surface up here. Oh my goodness, loving it.
Where thunder has had its way, when kindness is portrayed as blind and glitter to the rays. Oh, no need to beg pardon.
So stay tuned next week, everybody. It's always good getting big pieces into the boat. Some jobs go quickly and other jobs tend to be fiddly. So this is a piece of lining for up in the V-berth. I get all of the V-berth lining pieces made up. It'll just have a join, it'll just have a, it'll be split in the, please like, subscribe, hit that bell and share. I'd really, really appreciate that.
Oh, no need to beg pardon. Oh, no need to beg pardon.